Greetings. Today I'm going to talk about my lack of success while being on YouTube. I've been on YouTube since I think 2009, so that makes 13 years. And in 13 years, I haven't been able to break 1,000. That's okay. I would love to have higher numbers, but I think that sometimes you're just not built to do that. I've been around for a good long time. I put out videos. I know I've helped some people. I've had a couple of videos that have actually gone viral, but we can't all do it. And I've got some reasons. I got 5 reasons why I think my YouTube channel hasn't blown up. And it's pretty much my fault, but what are you going to do? So here's the 5 reasons. Hopefully you only have to deal with 4 of them because one of them you're just not going to beat. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And the first one is I'm an older guy and I started when I was older. So back in 2009, I was about to turn 50 years old. And that's kind of an older age for someone to actually start a channel. And at the time I was recording videos through Google+. Google+ had this thing that they called Google Hangouts. So you basically use their format and you could get on there and talk to a whole bunch of different people. As a matter of fact, I used to do a lot of interviews and I did those through Google Hangouts. But one of the things you couldn't do is you couldn't do any modifications for it. I didn't know anything about thumbnails at the time. Not that I do now, but still, I didn't know anything about thumbnails at that time. And even now, for instance, if any of you decided to go back and look at any of those old videos, you'll never see any viewer counts. You will never see if there were any likes or dislikes because it was all contained within Google+. So there was only so much you could do. But now I'm 62. I'll be 63 sometime in September. And, YouTube is more of a platform for younger people than people my age. Now, people my age, if I hired someone else to do some editing for me, maybe that would help. If I hired someone else to actually help me write scripts, that might help. Although I could probably write my own scripts, and I've done that a couple of times on this channel over the years. But in general, I come up with my topics and I do my topics, and there you have it. The second reason, and I just mentioned it, I don't know how to edit videos. I bought some software last year, Corel Print Studio, and I haven't figured out how to use it. Not that I haven't sat down and tried, not that I haven't watched some videos. The tutorial on their website is for an older version, and it's one of those kind of things where they say, just move this here, clip this here, done. No, it is not that easy. And I have learned some terminology though. For instance, I've learned the thing about B-roll, which basically says that you film yourself doing all kind of other stuff and then you clip it in and you add music to it. Sometimes you can add other pictures to it or whatever. And I would think that that might be something that would be interesting to do. I watch a lot of the videos of the younger folks and they're really good at it. And they're very entertaining and it's eye-catching. But I just haven't been able to figure it out. And, because I'm working on other things, I haven't put a lot of time into it. But I did put an hour and a half into it one day and I was able to cut a second. So that's a shame. But, you never know. At some point, maybe when I get some other things going, maybe I'll be able to sit down, or maybe I'll find someone locally who can sit down with me and show me how to do some things. That's just how that goes. The third thing is that I haven't stuck with a particular popular niche. And out of all the videos I've done on this channel, most of them have been about blogging and social media. But I haven't just stuck with those. When I'm doing a video where I'm talking about self-help kind of things or whatever, then it can be almost anything. When I'm talking about diversity, well, diversity is diversity. I've done a few things on leadership. I've done some things on motivation. I have told stories because I've led a really odd life, a military kid. I did a few videos over the last few years as it concerned my mother and her having dementia and then her having her decline, and some of the funny interactions that we had with each other. And I've just basically done more of that kind of entertainment, but I have not gone out of my comfort zone. For instance, I don't know how many of y'all remember this woman named Glozell. I think officially she was Glozell Green. I don't think that was her real last name. But anyhow, she turned out that she was about 10 years younger than me, but she started way before me, and she did some of the craziest things. One of the things that I remembered just blew up was when she decided to see if she could eat a spoonful of cinnamon. And just thinking about it now, it's still one of the funniest things I ever saw. It was probably one of the first or one of the earliest things I saw of someone on YouTube doing something relatively stupid. If you've never tried to eat a spoonful of cinnamon, I'm telling you right now, don't do it. You can't do it. Cinnamon doesn't dissolve. It's hot. And you're going to put it in your mouth. You're immediately going to feel the heat. You're going to try to spit it out. It's going to go everywhere. And you're just going to look a mess. It's been done. Don't do any of that. But I have never done prank videos. I have never done anything that is a daredevil kind of thing. Not my style. I don't even know if I would have done that in my 20s and 30s. It's not how I grew up. You know, we didn't all do a lot of weird, dangerous things. And you might think he's just worried about danger. There's nothing dangerous about doing any videos. They used to have these videos where people would go into the wrong community and say something and do something. People would gang up and start beating them up, and they would say, oh no, it's just a prank. You don't prank certain people in certain places. You just don't do that. There was a guy on YouTube whose gig was jumping out of high hotel rooms to try to land into the pool. And he did for a while until he missed. And then last week, I'm reading a story where this guy lost his pilot's license because he did this thing where he jumped out of his own airplane and crashed it. Now, he tried to say that he was in trouble and that he had to jump out to save himself, but everything does not go in his favor. And so he lost his license, and it's hard to get a pilot's license. So he's not allowed to buy another airplane. You can do all these things you want to for clicks. It never was going to be me. The next thing, I never built on any of the videos that I had that went viral. And I had a couple. I think I had 2 or 3 who, for me, they blew up. I mean, one of them almost hit 50,000. Another one got close. I think I've got another one around 25,000. And, like I said, for me, at the time, I think I had maybe 350 subscribers, and they blew up. But the reason that I didn't build on those videos is because they were rant videos about an issue that I was having. At the time, it was an issue I was having with Time Warner, who later became, Spectrum in this area. Then it was an issue I had with Verizon, and that turned out, you have these rants. You have something that makes you mad. You put out something where you're telling what happened and how you felt about it. And a lot of other people had those same things. I didn't know that at the time. And so everyone wanted to get in on it. And that's just amazing. But it's hard to build up on that. And one of the things that the YouTube experts, the people who try to tell everyone else how to get a lot more people, they say if you get something that goes viral, or you have a set of videos that it looks like that's what your audience is interested in, keep giving them that. Well, I didn't want to rant every single week. No one wanted to see that. I could have found some stuff. Heck, I could have just picked the politicians and ranted about that. But who would have wanted to watch that every single week? I could have ranted about racist stuff. I could have ranted about Karens. I could have ranted about a bunch of things. But that's a lot of negativity. I'm not into negativity. I'm more into positivity. Doesn't mean that negative things don't happen. Does not mean that sometimes you can't address those things or you shouldn't address those things. We all need to be true to ourselves, and we need to be honest about things that we feel, if we feel they're important enough to address. But to create rant videos for the sake of creating rant videos, I just couldn't do that. And then here's the last one, and there's nothing I can do about that, which is my background stinks. I mean, this is my background. I have this gigantic desk that's in front of me. I can't put a screen behind me. There's just no room for a screen. You got my printer over here. You got my Relax over there. You got Snoopy over here, which y'all should be happy about. Heck, you know, I'm in my office. This is just what it is. I'm not changing the color of my office just for YouTube. My office is red, except for one accent wall. My ceiling is white. And I really had wanted to turn that black at one point, but that's not going to happen. But the background, it kind of stinks. What I see a lot of other people doing is that they looks like they're sitting in the middle of their room and they have this atmosphere. They're not, you know, sitting where stuff is close to them. This is just what it is. Except for those occasions where I take the phone and I'm walking at the lake or out in the backyard or somewhere else where I feel the freedom to do a video in public without being interrupted. This is what I have. This is probably what I'm going to stick with. And it's amazing because, like I said, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there's a lot of folks who have the camera on a stick. You know they have it on the stick. They're doing whatever. They got their arm way out here, and it's jumping around because they got a camera on a stick. I don't have a camera on a stick. I have a Samsung smartphone. I don't even know if they make a stick for that. But even if they did, I don't think that I would be comfortable walking in public places doing that. Doing that at the mall? No. Nobody cares what I want to see at the mall. I could possibly do it at the lake as long as it's early in the morning where there's almost no one around. But like I said, I don't know if they make a stick for Samsung. And I don't know if I really want to use my smartphone for that kind of thing all the time. Usually if I do something at the lake or I do something on the smartphone, I will stop and I will do something. I probably need to pay a lot more for a fancy camera, but that's not going to happen right now. However, I had those 5 things, but I just want to say this other one. I'm still here. So this is year 13. I'm still putting out videos. I've stuck around. There's a lot of big time YouTubers who used to have tens of thousands, some of them hundreds of thousands of people who watched every single video who are gone. It was almost like, okay, I've reached my 10 years or I've almost reached my 10 years. I gotta go. And the reason that a lot of those people got big is because they did content that was risky and edgy. And as we've gotten into, well, the early 2020s, and you can even say in the end of the 2010s, a lot of those folks all of a sudden got called out for different types of stuff that they were doing beforehand. And they felt ashamed and they felt beaten down. And you know what? They'd already made their millions. And so they said, no, I need to take a break. And most of them have not come back. You know how I mentioned Glozell earlier? Glozell shows that she has 4.6 million followers. She hasn't done a video in a year. And before that, she hadn't done a video in a year. We may never see Glozell on YouTube again. I'm still here. I'm still putting my stuff out. I'm still plugging away. Who knows? If I learn how to edit, maybe I'll hit that 1,000. Heck, maybe I'll hit 2,000. And then I can, catch up with my friend Peter, who loves to throw it at me that he's got his channel doing a lot better than mine. But I can throw at him that I've got my blogs that are doing better than his. So that's what we do. Anyhow, I've given you those 5 things. Don't do any of those. You're probably not going to be able to do number 1. But the others, think about them. Think about what you want to do with your channel if you want to get bigger. And, if you're one of those folks who doesn't mind putting yourself out in the public and dealing with how folks are watching you, or you're one of those people who says, you know what, I'm going to take this risk and get all these people coming here. You know what? Have at it. Ain't going to be me. I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of like you just want to say to some folks, all you have to do is mess up once. Mess up really big just once. And you could hurt yourself. You could hurt your reputation. You could get called out on a whole bunch of social media sites. Is it worth it? It might be, but there you go. Anyhow, my name is Mitch Mitchell. If you like something like this, you know what? Subscribe. Help me get to that 1,000. Who knows? You might even find something that you like. Even if it might not be me. Yeah, I hope it's me though. Y'all take care and enjoy the rest of your week.